But let's transition to American football. So big news in Duval County. JoJo,
What's
I mean
that?
not JoJo.
Trevor Lawrence broke his leg. What happened? What happened?
No, the kicker did.
The kicker broke his leg. Oh,
No, the kicker got kicked by the man we're about to speak of.
Oh, Urban Meyer gone out of Duval County.
Oh,
Urban
yeah.
Meyer got fired in the middle of the night last night. I woke up and I'm like,
Bro,
it was like Christmas.
midnight.
It was like Christmas morning.
No, don't say that.
I woke up. It was Christmas morning. So happy to see that he was gone. That
We're gonna have
piece
to
of
replay
shit.
this back a couple episodes.
Yeah,
when he was
let's do
praying
the
to the
episodes
football
when-
gods for this
When
coach.
he's hyping up Jacksonville.
No, hold up. Wait a second.
Jacksonville,
Bowl
Urban Meyer
and this
hired.
and that.
We can go rewind to January or February, whenever it was. We can rewind. And I said that I was skeptical. I said, I don't know. We'll have to see. Then I'm not going to lie. About through the off season, think about it. I mean, he's had a questionable shit. I was questionable about his draft. I was questionable about the free agents. I was like, you know what? We'll see. He kind of bought me in a little bit. I'm like, all right, like
He brought his boy.
you know, I don't want to like. The thing is too is like I don't want to be the guy who's just like trashing the whole time, because at the end of the day, like I did want him to be good. Like I don't want him to suck ass. So I kind of like bought into it a little bit, but then I was always like skeptical of it. What I did think was hilarious was how so many people were so hype about it. But I'm like, why are we so hype about it? This guy's like done nothing. But man, especially as the season has gone on, it has just it got horrible. It got so bad. I mean, not even like the off the field issues, but like watching every game. I watched every play of every game this year so far, and just seeing the coaching decision. Seeing the coaching decisions and like the roster moves and everything that was done is just like the guy's a fucking bum, dude. Like he's such a like he's such an like I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like there was some he genuinely didn't know what was going on. Like you see these press conferences and people will ask him questions like, why aren't you playing James Robinson? Or what is your offensive scheme? Or what is this? And he'll just answer straight up. He'll just be like, I don't know. He'd be like, I don't. He's like, I don't know. I was like, how do you not know? Like, how do you not know what the fuck you want out of your team? Like, how do you not like it blew my mind that how oblivious this guy was to what was going on. And then all the dumb decisions that he made and how and all the dumb shit that he's doing off the field, causing drama. And then like after hearing what happened to Josh Lambo, our former kicker, like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And Shad Khan had to step in there and be like, all right, this guy's got to go. Like he's got to go. Like it's at the point where it's like, how are you going to get anybody to come over here and play? Like how are you going? We're going to have the most cap space coming into the free agency. You're going to have the most cap space out of any team in the NFL. And how are you going to get? And it doesn't matter how much money you.
Nobody wants to go over there
because you don't want to deal with him. Like why? Like why would you want to go deal with that? Like this college atmosphere. This guy who doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know who's on his team. He doesn't know what scheme he wants to run. He's just completely oblivious to everything. And it's like, and some people were like, oh, give him to the end of the year. Oh, it's just his first year. I'm like, no, this guy clearly, the team has gotten worse.
Yo, it's good. I'm glad, honestly, they just ripped off the Band-Aid right now instead of waiting to the end of the season.
And you know, it's a great thing I didn't think about, and they're talking about it. It's like back in the day, like if you hired a coach, you're kind of stuck having to be with the coach because you have him contracted for a lot of guaranteed money and everything. But nowadays with the new media deals and how much the owners are making, it's a lot easier for owners to just be like, you know what, fuck it. We'll eat the cost. We just got to get this fucker out of here. We just got to get him out, which is like, you know what, it's whatever. And like I said, Urban Meyer was the ultimate salesman. Everybody thought he was going to be great. He went in there. He made a shit ton of money, coached 13 games and left. He was the ultimate con man. 2-11 right now. 2-11.
He got paid millions to win 2 games.
He got paid millions to win 2 games and get up and leave. And like timeline, bro, the timeline of everything, like when you hear everything from the beginning of the year, it's like I've never heard the word Jackson will come out of the national media so much. Like between his complaints about free agency, him drafting Travis Etienne in the first round, giving Tim Tebow a shot, getting fined for breaking OTA rules, practice rules for
Oklahoma. They did the Oklahoma drill, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Him coming out about what was it? Something about how he was going to something about if a player's not vaccinated, he's going to take that into like hey, whatever, something like
consideration.
That. Yeah. Him apparently kicking the kicker, him not going on the plane back home and finger banging two blonde thotties like at the bar. And now
everything but win and Jacksonville.
And now and then on top of that, and then you also have all the actual in-game problems of like you now starting James Robinson, like you've made dumb decisions for free agency. We're not playing any of our draft picks that we started besides Trevor Lawrence. It's like fuck, dude. We got worse. We were 1-15 last year, and I'm pretty sure that team could whoop this team's ass. Like we have a quarterback that is 10 times better than Gardner Minshew. And somehow the offense is worse. They've been averaging under 10 points for like five. I don't think I think they're averaging under 10 points for the past like 5 or 6 games. And then throughout the whole season, it's like they've been averaging, I think like they have the lowest points per game. Like I think it's like 14 point something, which is incredibly low. The only bright side to everything that's happening, and it seems like the only good hire that he actually made, was that our defensive coordinator is actually really good, and the defense has actually been playing really well and holding every team they've gone against for the past like 5 to 6 games under 20 points, which at a certain point, it's like, all right, fuck, you need the offense to do something. I mean, if you're holding a team to 20 or under 20 points, you should be in the game, not getting.
It should be competitive.
You should be competitive, not going scoreless against a Derrick Henry-less Tennessee Titans. And your only touchdown comes from garbage time. It's fucking wild, dude. Like what a fucking year. But
I think that's the biggest knock, I guess, of college coaches is like, okay, you guys win, obviously we saw that with Nick Saban coming to the Dolphins. But what can you do in the pros? Like, are you
the men's
Jimmy
league?
Johnson? Yeah, Jimmy Johnson could make the transition. Obviously, he had success at UM. And he got hired in Dallas and played a little bit. He had a successful team in Miami. I think they had a winning team.
No, I don't. I think he was there for like a year and a half, and then he quit.
Yeah,
I think he didn't even get fired. He quit.
Short. Yeah, it was short. Because it was like in the mid-90s after Don Shula they put in Jimmy Johnson. But anyways, but with these college coaches, it's like you can do it in college when the best players are begging to come to your school, whether it be UF or it be Ohio State. But like the pros, like you're dealing with professional guys. I mean, you're dealing with like
it's more of a chess match.
It's
picking the right players, right scheme. It's a chess match. Everything's a strategic move. You can't just grab the best guys.
And I feel like in college, there's definitely a bigger power disparity, I guess. Like, the coaches have more power over these players. Like if you're, you have a scholarship, one of the best coaches, some of the best coaches, they hold that scholarship over their head, like year to year. They're like, we're going to evaluate you every year. And if you're not playing up to par or whatever, then you're not getting a scholarship next year. Like you play this year, we'll play it out. And then, so there's definitely a bigger power disparity in college, I guess, from the coaches to the players. But in NFL, you're dealing with pros. Like these guys can be like, okay, well, I'll just get my agent to go talk to some other team or, ask for a trade or something.
I'm surprised. I was gonna say, I'm surprised Josh Lambo, the kicker, didn't get up and just beat his ass, bro. He's the kicker, and you're gonna kick him in the leg. He's the fucking kicker.
I read a comment. They're like, "Yo, you have the balls to kick a professional kicker. Like he won't kick you back, and then you're gonna be hospitalized."
But I think the quote was that what the Lambo said that he's like, hey, dipshit, make the fucking kick or something like that.
He said, make your kicks today or something.
Yeah.
Apparently he always called. Game. Yeah. Granted.
Preseason. All right. One preseason. Who cares?
Here's what I will say. There's a reason why Josh Lambo isn't on the team anymore. He was just missing way too much. But he went from, I don't know what the fuck happened, but he went from, I think he had the 4th highest kicking accuracy in league history. And then coming into the season, something just happened. He couldn't make a kick. He got injured last year. But then coming in this season, he couldn't make anything. But it's like, also too, it's like if I was a kicker, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? He's like I heard I was watching some sports radio and they're talking about it's like I could come as like I'm gonna have the 4th highest accuracy in NFL history. Who the fuck are you to just call me the kicker and tell me to make a fucking kick? Like like you can go eat my ass. Like I don't know who the fuck you think you are.
And just on a human level, like this is mad disrespectful. Like imagine JoJo, your boss comes to you, kicks you, and say, "Hey, you better sell these fucking Jordans." Like what the fuck?
He fucking kicks your ankle. He's like, "Better go sell them."
I'm gonna put the Jordans on and go ahead and kick you back. That's what I'm gonna do.
So
I think if that was any other player, like if he did that to a fucking linebacker or some shit, like he would have got his ass beat.
Oh,
I'm surprised.
You gotta pick your fights. You gotta pick your fights.
Yeah, I don't think. I think if Josh Lambo went up there and just like fucking swung on his ass or pushed him to the ground, I don't think anybody would blame him. And I think it would have exposed everything a lot earlier. It would have exposed shit a lot.
It's mad crazy.
This was the tipping point. You know, they probably interview players like, "Yo, what do you think about this coach?" And then they started exposing little stories. And like, "Oh yeah, kick me."
Well, that's what I think too. Like Shad Khan is, I think he was going to ride out, but then after this came up, he just like, you got to cut ties. But they were definitely going to do exit interviews and like see like what's going on, because I don't think there was any way he was making it to a second season. He was we forgot too. He was calling coaches losers and like telling them to defend their resumes. I was like.
He's like,
I've been like, who the fuck are you? You won in college. Who gives a fuck what this is? Once you get into the NFL, who gives a fuck what you did? Nobody gives a shit what you did in college. Yeah. Player, coaches, scout, nobody cares. It's like you're 2-11 for all I care as a coach. I don't give a shit that you won a championship. Our offensive coordinator won a Super Bowl in Seattle. Like who the fuck are you? Like,
wow, bro.
It's wild.
So I mean that's crazy, man. So I mean, most I guess that's a tough transition. College coaches to pros.
I will say this: I think it sucks that he's going to leave a bad rap for a lot of college coaches wanting to come to the NFL, because the one thing I was saying, like leading up to the season and everything, is like people's like, "Oh, college coaches never succeed," and I'm like, okay. What are the percentages on that? And like, how many of these bum ass offensive and defensive coordinators that get promoted to coaches really end up panning out?
Yeah, for real.
It's like, I never liked the argument of like college coaches never succeed. Well, it's like, all right, not that many college coaches make the jump, and some of them do pretty well. But what is the percentage of that compared to like the percentage of all these like offensive coordinators that get 2 to 3 years and then they're kicked out and another guy comes in? It's like nobody ever wants to talk about that. It's like very few coaches ever make it past 5 years.
Well, and I guess, for him, it would be, I guess the expectations would be higher because, he won in college. He has a history of winning. He is a successful college coach, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a lot of problems off the field, I guess. That's why he left UF, and we know, bro, we knew this guy was flaky, dude. We knew this guy was flaky as fuck. And I kind of expected it. Like I was like, oh, you were hyping up Jacksonville, Julian, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll have a better year. Maybe they'll be like 500 or something. They'll get more wins. Definitely the fucking 1 in fucking 50.
I think nobody expected them to be 2-11. Like nobody. I was thinking 6 wins. Like personally, I was thinking like 6. But there's no way. Like I thought if anything, the defense would be our detriment. It turns out the defense is actually one of the very few bright spots on the team. No. And I'm glad too. I think he's the 4th coach in history to not make it a year.
Wow.
In the NFL, to be hired and fired before 1 year.